Hello, this is Enrique with dnsimple. Today I will walk you through a dnsimple-go API client and how you can use it to automate your domain management by showing you how to register a domain programmatically. I will do this in the sandbox environment where you can play with dnsimple's API at no cost. The sandbox environment behaves almost like the production environment, with a few exceptions. Let's Encrypt certificates cannot be issued, nor will the domains that you register be registered for real. You don't need to worry on spending any money on domain registrations while using the sandbox environment. Alright, let's go. Once you log into the sandbox environment, you will see a dashboard with all the domains you might have registered already. On the top right, you will see an account link. Clicking on it, you will be on your account page, where you can see at the bottom of the left menu the automation link. When we follow this link, we will see our API tokens, if we have any. Here we can create a new one. Let's call it Go Tutorial and generate it. I'm not going to close the browser or move away at the moment, as we will need the generated token in a while. We could always save it quickly in a note-taking app, but I'm not going to do that. Now we have everything we need to start working on our Go implementation. Let's start our IDE. I'm using one from JetBrains, but you can use whichever IDE you prefer. I have an empty project and I will add a console output so that we can see that everything is working. Let's just say, hello dnsimple. Now let's run it. Okay, good. Now that we have the project and everything is set up, let's get started. I will use the same file with the hello dnsimple message and just change it as we go along. The first thing we want to do is to create an instance of our dnsimple client, which is our entry point to the API. We also want to change the base URL we will be using so that we point to the sandbox environment. Now it's time to add our credentials. That is the token we generated on the web interface earlier. So let's go back to our browser and copy the token. Now paste it. Okay, with this we should have all we need to interact with the sandbox environment. The first thing we're going to do is to get our account ID and store it in a variable. We will be using the identity service, calling whoami. The data that's returned from this endpoint contains an account or a user, depending how we log into the system. As we're using an account token, we will get the account ID from the account, and we're going to write it to the console for the moment, so that you can see what's going on. Now that we have our account ID, we can go and check for a domain so that we can register it. Let's check one that should not be available, although we never know as we are on the sandbox environment. Anyways, let's see if google.com is available. Okay, good. It's not available. Now let's see if we can find a domain that is available so we can register it. gotesting.com should be fine. Let's see. Okay, great. It's available. Before we continue and register this domain, we need to create a contact that is associated with the domain we're registering. When it comes to contacts, it's really important your contact information is up to date. In case you're contacted by ICANN, the organization that oversees domain name registrations for most top-level domains. I recommend not using the email address of the account you're registering at the moment, but use an email address that has been working so far. Okay, let's go ahead and create our contact. First thing we're going to do is to create the contact object with all the required arguments. My name, my last name, not my address, nor city, in the province of, postal code, country of residence, email, and finally, phone number. Okay, with the contact created, we can call the service to create the contact and extract the contact ID for when we register the domain in a moment. Now that we have our contact created, we can register our domain. For this, we're going to call the registrar endpoints register domain method and add the account ID, the domain name, and the registrant ID, which is the contact ID of the contact we just created. Our domain is now created, so we can go ahead and for the time being, just list the domains we have. I have a few domains registered already, so let's see if we can find ours. There it is. Let's now add a zone record to our domain. As a simple example, I'm going to add a CNAME record to point our domain to the dnsimple blog. I'm going to give it a name of blog. The content will be blog.dnsimple.com, and the type of record, as I mentioned earlier, will be CNAME. So let's create the zone record using the zones endpoint, passing the account ID, the domain name, and the zone record data we just created. Now that the record is created, let's list the zone records for this domain. Today, I've given you a little glimpse of what you can do with our dnsimple-go API client, registering a domain, creating zone records, but also how you can start using our sandbox environment to get you started with your domain automation. Please do check our developer documentation to see all the endpoints and actions you can perform to automate your domain management using dnsimple. We also have comprehensive support articles that will help you to dig deeper into what you can do with our services. I also want to point you to this API client's cheat sheet where you can see what we've done today and some more. Please do reach out to dnsimple if you need any help or you plan on using our services, and we'll do our best to help you at support@dnsimple.com. Thank you so much for watching.